तुझे देखा तो ये जाना सनम, प्यार होता है दीवाना सनम, तुझे देखा तो ये जाना।
We'd like to welcome you all to this very auspicious occasion as this after parade party. Thank you all for coming out this evening. I'd like to thank Ms. Linda Lee and Sila, where are you? There she is. And we'd like to thank each of you personally, but most especially also to Brookhaven Heart for hosting us today. And as such, I want to make sure I don't get the names wrong, Dr. Deepu Alexander and Dr. Satish Joseph. So with that, to get going with the program, I'd like to invite the Secretary, Ms. Mary Phillip, to say a few words.
We do not have much to say right now. If I have to say, I have to call out everybody's name, and I know. Today we are here actually to say thank you to the people that are worked very, very hard for the India Day parade. And we have been working on that for about 4 months. And we had multiple meetings. And we have a group of leaders and hardworking people, supporters, sponsors. They're all here. I have to call their names if I say really, really thank you. This word is coming from the bottom of my heart. He is going to, being the president, going to call each and everyone's names here and thank them. And if he forgets some, I will be back. Okay? Thank you.
Thank you, Mary ji, and thank you, Asha ji. This is a really an auspicious evening. As usual, every day is a gift from God. So we, remember on that, and whatever we achieve today is a blessing from God. Tomorrow we don't know. But unitedly, we are looking towards the progress. So keeping that in mind, let me start by saying, recognizing Honorable Council Member, Ms. Linda Lee, Satish Joseph. He and his team, the group, they are the hosts and sponsors of today's event. And accidentally, I met him on one occasion, and when we wanted to do after parade party get together, because anything we do, when somebody help us, when unitedly when they come and join us to make such a grand success, we wanted to honor them, thank them. We went around and looked for some restaurants. Some restaurants parking was problem, some restaurants vegetarian, non-vegetarian, and some, so many other problems. But thank God, I met him and he suggested, why don't you come and look at it? And then when I looked at the parking, and then with all the facilities here, we are honored, gifted to get that offer from him, and then thank God. And next, I have to recognize Dr. Mr. Dr. Harish Shukla and Dr. Kirti Shukla. They both have been staunch supporters for the community, if my memory is correct, since 85, 86. And he lives in Jamaica Estates. Any elected officials or any connection we need. I physically saw, Governor Kathy Hoko right at his place, and they are good friends. So like that with the Congressman Gregory Meeks and almost all elected officials. Doctor is a very silent person, but when there is a need, he's definitely, come out and support and welcome everybody. Matter of fact, he was telling me the next event, we're going to do it in our backyard. He has a beautiful house in Jamaica Estates with almost a half an acre of backyard and all that in that prime location. So I'm really honored by his presence also. And after that, I have to come around and recognize our Honorable Vice Chairman for Indian Overseas Congress, USA, Mr. George Abraham. He has been in the community for, I believe he's in this country since 60s. He knows each and everything, all the movements and whatever has to be done. He's going to speak and he's going to say a few words about it. So likewise, I'm honored by each and every one of your presence here. Of course, Indian Nurses Association, Abraham is here. And of course, Rachel G. And community leaders, Shaji Ennaseril, actually the secretary for ecumenical churches of ecumenical, right? Ecumenical for churches, and then Council of Churches. These two are biggest organization in the Christian, what I can say, I should not say network, but the connections, what they do for the community whenever we are in need. And of course, my committee, my friends who have worked in this effort to make this parade grand success. It's not easy because we have been working almost 24/7 for almost four months. It's not easy because we have to, first thing is fundraising. So that's the toughest part. The committee did it. And then, bringing in floats, bringing in booths, bringing in souvenir. So at this juncture, I want to recognize a couple of our committee friends here. Starting from the right, my good friend, chairman, the parade committee chairman, Mr. Dincil George. And then I have the senior most person in our association, actually one of the founder for FBIMA, Mr. VM Chaco. And then one of the founder, along with Mr. VM Chaco, we have our good friend, Mr. George Parambil. He's a very silent person, but he does things without any problem. Then we have a committee member, our Matthew Thomas. And then we have our good friend, Jason. Matthew Thomas and Jason, they were in the fundraising. So they unitedly, they both raised the maximum funds. That's for sure. When the money come in, that's when we said, okay, things are going to happen. So that way, I really have to honor Mr. Jason Joseph. And then coming back, we have other committee members here, Mrs. Mary Phillip, and then Asha Mambalil, and of course, our whenever we need anything and anything to be covered outreach, he has connection with almost all associations in this neighborhood. That's one of the biggest asset, and with that, we were able to bring in lot many other associations. And I have to really say, this time, the parade, the success of the parade was about the floats. Thomas is going to be here very soon. Then Fokana, of course, the main effort, of course, Mr. Paul Gadropoli and the RVPs in this area for Fokana, they all extended the support. But Mrs. Mary Phillip, she was actually getting in touch with them, and so that's not easy to get that 3,000. So we got $3,000 for the float for Fokana, and INANI, Indian Nurses Associations, together they did the nice float there. So FOMA is at 3,000 and Fokana 3,000. Then we got India. So a single person individually individually, without anybody's, she didn't say anything. The moment, we said, Lilaji, we need a float. She was the first person to bring that $2,000 advance, and it was confirmed. And also after that, we got World Malayali Council. The global president of World Malayali Council, Mr. Thomas Motekar, was here. His team was here. That was really an achievement. Of course, Biju Chako is part of it. He actually networked with the global team and the American region team, and it's a joint effort. I'm in the front, but before me there are so many other people who are making things happening. So we really want to recognize everybody, and also we have our Dr. Thakkar, who is in this neighborhood for almost 40 years. 35 years. 35 years. So this 35 years experience is like, if you want to know anybody's history, any business, any personalities, any elected officials, you just ask Dr. Thakkar, he gives you the way to approach them and get things done. And also this year, this parade, we had almost a lot of associations sponsored floats at this thing, but Mr. Thakkar said, next year, we have to make sure, we should have at least one Punjabi float, one Haryana float, one Delhi float, one Gujarati float, and one Andhra float.
It should be multicultural.
Multicultural. And don't be surprised, Dr. Thakkar is going to bring all those floats with his own personal outreach capacity. No, you be in the front, we going to be there.
You are on the state program.
Yeah.
We should have a one of each kind multicultural program and a float to make the beauty of the event.
The world moves with the good concept and ideas. So you made that point. We all tried. This year we did whatever we can, but for some reasons, they could not come. Gujarati associations, they had the India Day parade on the same day, and a couple of other the Andhra associations, they said they will come. Something happened. Kannada Kuta, I reached out. Tamil associations, they all said they will come. But sometime things happen. But next year we're going to plan. That's our next move, and the motto, we want to make sure every Indian associations from every state origin associations going to be part of our parade. That's the most important. So with that, I'm going to cut short. I know we have to do and a couple of other people to speak and all that. Now let me welcome Mr. Dincil George, who was the parade chairman, and he actually did this parade very systematically. And when I was running around with all these things, and I was thinking, so many other problems, and I said, how am I going to get it eased up? So Mr. Chako and Mr. Parambil and Mr. Kalathil Varghese, they brought Dincil George. Dincil is our committee, is in our committee, and then unanimously we elected Dincil George as our chairman. From there, I had nothing to do, he took it over. So let's see the success and the good words from.
That was very kind words, which is not all me. Okay, first and foremost, I would like to thank Honorable Linda Lee, who is here, and each and every one to me is very important. Why I say this is because all what I have to say, he have taken. He took over everything, so he thanked each and every one. But one thing I would like to remember first and foremost with our own FBIMA board of directors here, like Matthew Thomas and so many others, Chako, Uncle and George Parmils, and Kalathil executive members, our own secretary. I mean, if at least if we, our committee members, if we could just stand up for a minute, please, everyone. And I believe they deserve a big round of applause for everything that they have done. So one of the things that I have to say is that even though they elected me as the chairman for this parade, it was not just me. No one can do single-handedly everything that we have done. But what we did was, I think, after the 2-3 years of absence of COVID, that brought down actually this country to the knee, entire world. But we were able to do a good job in relation, when we look at to see what we achieved, at least to bring forth our cultural heritage to this country, to this neighborhood. When we marched, it was just basically letting everyone know that India has become independent since 1947. And ever since then, we as Indians have come together in this country. We call this country as land of opportunities, right? And we got opportunities to thrive here. And we were just showing out what this country have given us, and at the same time what our good Lord have done to each one of us. So basically, from what I have to say, from registration counter to all the way to the other end, when we marched to our St. Gregorius Auditorium, each and every one of you here, you have played a very, very, very important role. And to those who marched in front of us with the FBIMA band, it was not easy at the 95-degree scorching heat to march all the way from this one end to the other end, almost 1.5 miles. But we were able to do it. We are not young anymore. We think we are young, but we are not getting young anymore. But at the same time, we were able to do it. And I wholeheartedly, from the bottom of my heart, it is a heartfelt appreciation that I have for each and every one who participated in it, not just participating in it, made this a grand success in a way that we can look at ourselves and be proud of ourselves. Well, next year, it's, Dr. Thakkar will, as Koshy mentioned, hopefully we'll have more participation from other community leaders and communities together. But even our cultural program, Asha was one among our MCs there, and then the cultural program also reflected India there, and not just one particular state, from different states. And when we talk about India, we have almost 1,500 languages there. So it is not easy to communicate with one another. Our medium is English, if you want it from one state to the other, because South Indians normally don't speak much Hindi, and vice versa from all others, everyone don't speak the same language. But with all that, we were able to achieve a whole great deal of things, and I'm so honored to be here, standing here, and I'm so humbled. I'm not just saying mere words, it is just truly from what I feel, because I did not know when Uncle called me, Kaladil Uncle said, Dincil, you have to come here right now at a meeting, because I was at another meeting, and he asked me to come, and they said, this is what we have for you. You have to say in front of everyone if you accept this position or not. And from then on, I thought at least from our community to bring everyone. And we did, I think we were able to bring each and every one. Our community have raised beyond the bar that I see that you have done a fantastic job. So I would like to give you yourself a round of applause, please. And then I have to remember the media. Matthew Isho and Shaji. I can never forget George Kottaram, who is a global Indian voice. And if you three could just stand up, at least you all deserve a round of applause. And they have promoted a lot, publicity-wise, and even after that, and we sincerely appreciate what you have done, and it is beyond words that I have. So once again, to each and everyone, as Mary Phillip, she's the secretary, she said, from the bottom of my heart, I have to go even beyond that. It is just truly to say that it was a collective, sincere, wholehearted effort. And we truly appreciate, please try to make it even better next year. And that is what we can do. And all the doctors here, Dr. Sadish and Deepu, we thank you so much for this place. Your premises was so wonderfully welcomed. And Dr. Shukla, Dr. Thakkar, each and everyone here. I have to mention Nishi and Hema and each and everyone here. Everyone. The Nurses Association, Tara to Shoshama Andrews, to Usha, to even Elema Apukutan. Of course, Mary Phillip is part of it. So we thank you once again. I don't want to miss anyone. I know there are so many names I have to say, but if I keep on adding it, there will be so many names. Even if you're not a community leader, you still were there. That is one thing, that good part that we found. It was not just the community leaders who did everything. We have so many members from the association. And I truly believe that that is what made this parade very colorful. We were able to make it colorful. It was throughout, every media had covered it, and at least even in our Indian community, media really covered a lot of pictures with a lot of videos. Once again, thank you, and God bless us all.
Now, I'm just trying to recollect my memory on the Independence Day. It was a joint effort. First time in Queen's India Day Parade's history, we had Mayor Eric Adams. That's one of the biggest recognition. I would not say it's an achievement, but that's a recognition, because when the city come to the Eastern Queens, and when they look at, and that's a recognition for us, because we all know, I don't have to say politics, we are fair share taxpayers. We don't expect much from the city. We only expect safety and security. So when mayor came into this town, it has made a big impression, which says, we have connection, and if there is anything, mayor is here, and that force and the protection, that's the biggest achievement of this united effort. So that way, we actually celebrated India's Independence Day, but on the other side, we did India Day Parade, because we want to promote our Indian heritage, Indian culture, our non-violence, ahimsa. We want to be friendly with everybody. We are not going to go against anybody, but we want to make sure what's our culture, our way of life, dress code, and all that. So when we, make ourselves familiar, our culture and everything familiarized to the other people, we are avoiding the confusion. Small confusion will create many other problems, which we have seen in the past. So having noted all that, I want to say, invite our Mr. George Abraham, who knows more about Indian independence, Indian culture, Indian way of life, the outreach and all that, authoritatively, because he has served in the Indian diaspora whichever way he can, and apart from that, he has worked in the United Nations, traveled worldwide representing the United Nations to promote peace and harmony worldwide. So let's put our hands together to welcome our Honorable Mr. George Abraham to say a few words. Thank you.
Thank you, Koshy, for a long and kind introduction. Honorable Councilwoman and distinguished guests, especially Mr. President, Secretary, Chairman of the Parade Committee, the Board of the Jackson Heights Merchants Association, and distinguished guests. I'm glad to be here. Although I didn't really contribute much to the success of this parade, Koshy insisted that I should join today, at least as you are celebrating, of course, the very success of that event. For any event to be successful, we know the wheels had to be in motion early. We had to motivate the people. We had to assemble them, organize them, put together a structure, work hard on it. Then only that event can be successful. So there is a saying that what is the leadership? The definition of the leadership is the ability to motivate and mobilize. So these are the two characteristics of leadership. And that's where Koshy has succeeded. He was able to bring, look at that, all of you together and work together so that you are able to come together and celebrate India's independence. So going back, since I arrived here in the late 60s, I was part of the FIA at that point in time, Federation of Indian Association, and I was on the director board. And I still remember the first India Day parade in New York, myself and three other people. Varghese Chandi is one of the other Malayalis, and another one, Mr. Rajesh Shukla, and the fourth person, I forgot the name. Right. We went to the City Hall and received the proclamation for the Independence Day. At that point in time, we were an insignificant minority here. And of course, a mayor would not come to attend a parade. But that point in time, that was a huge effort. And some of us really had to work hard to put that parade together. That was in 1981, I'm talking about. Although, of course, many of the organizations were there even before that. That's how the Federation came together. And Thomas Abraham, you all know, he is really the architect of FIA and the beginning of that parade and all that. So the reason we celebrate the parade, of course, as it has been said here, to not only to celebrate the independence, but also celebrate our heritage, our traditions, and our identity here as well. Independence, of course, as you know, was a hard-fought battle by the eminent leaders of India, including Gandhiji, Jawaharlal Nehru, Sardar Patel, and all that. They really have sacrificed so much of their time and their life in order to achieve the freedom what we enjoy today. As a matter of fact, the people who go through the history, they would find out that Jawaharlal Nehru spent 10 years in jail altogether. 10 years of his life in jail. So Gandhiji, of course, finally had to pay the ultimate price with his life when the assassin took his life. So the independence, of course, has great value to us because we were born and brought up in one independent country. Most of us were sitting here, and then we were able to come here to another country which really enjoys the democracy, freedom, and justice. So we have a lot to be thankful to the United States as well, because this is the country which really has given us this privilege and the opportunity to be successful here. And many of us, I'm sure, have come with almost nothing here, but of course became huge success. And the reason is that the openness of the society, the welcoming nature of it, and of course the system, what do you call the basic structure and the system here, which really gives us that impetus really to go ahead and innovate and be part of the society where we really could contribute a lot. So once again, I would say we should keep up with this tradition here. I know there are only few floats. Those floats, I do not want to make any negative comment about it, but those floats primarily belong to the Kerala community, I understand. But in the future, I think we should really have floats from all communities, because India is a united country. Although it is a union of states, it is a country we have come together so that we have a lot to be proud of. So in that case, I think we should really celebrate that legacy, celebrate that our identity and traditions and culture together as one people. And I hope that in the coming days, especially as you move forward with this organization, you will be able to put together a committee that reflects the diversity and really can come together and make this India Day Parade in Queens much more successful than what it was. But in the meantime, let me take my time to salute Koshy for a stupendous job he has done. Yeah, I know, but it takes a leader. It takes a leader really to take that board and run with it. And you have really done that. And we salute you for that and wish you all the best. And the community, he is community minded. His heart is in the community, and he is working hard every day in that regard. And we salute you. Take your hand. Thank you.
I don't know whether I deserve all that. It's a united effort. We made it happen. We started this in 2015, and since then we are progressing, and we have brought the community together. Of course, it's an advantage for the community immediately, and apart from that, we are doing everything for the future generation. If you recollect back, we had bullyism in the school, no more. We had problem on the streets and the roads, no more. Because this is the effort, unitedly we show we have a strength. And then people recognize that, avoid problems, and that makes the community to grow with the strength. So with all your permission, let me call one of our future leader, who's going to be the legislator from Nassau County, just say a few words. Our good friend who is everywhere, former World Humanitarian Council and charity and anything. If you need money raised, please call him for anything. Biju Chako, I'll text you his number later on, and then reach him, anything. But without that good heart and haven't proven his service. He has an established, he's in the community for almost 20 plus years. So let me invite, with all your support and consent, let me invite Biju Chako to say a few words. Thank you.
Thank you, Koshy, for the nice words. I didn't want to go before Linda. But as many of you know, I was given the opportunity to lead from the Democratic Party in Nassau County District 13. So after many deliberations, I finally consented to run for this county legislator for District 13, which includes my town, East Meadow, Salisbury, and part of Levittown. So I kindly request each one of you to support me in my as I embark on this new journey, which is very new to me. Anyway, that's not what I'm here for. First of all, I want to congratulate everybody, FBIMA, the board of directors, the chairman, the parade organizer, Koshy, Dincil, Mary, and many of you here are very close to me. I know each one of you by name, I believe. I want to comment on the success that you put out there, and many mistakes, whatever you have possibly made, we can correct it. Like Dr. Thakur said, next year it should be a multicultural float, multicultural event, and that was a good point that you brought up. I myself thought what I echo upon George Abraham said, it kind of turned out to be a sectarian kind of thing, but that shouldn't be the way. We should do it more multicultural. We are here in that aspect. My full support for the coming parade for the next year as we move forward, and I look forward everyone for the next one that's coming up. And whatever you can do for my election for November 7th, I would appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you so much. So we're not going to hold you long. So let me invite Mrs. Mary Phillip to welcome Ms. Linda Lee, formally in our Indian style. Okay, this is the way we honor somebody with the maximum respect. So yeah.
Maximum respect that you bring.
Thank you for all the good work you're doing for the community. And by the way, she has already announced we're going to have the holiday lights on Hillside Avenue from 249th Street to 267th Street, which is within her district. It's not easy. We had it in the last years, but to continue, it's not easy. She has to get the budget allocated. She has to fight for that from the city and the chamber. So she has done all that, and that's the good news she's going to give us. During her speech, and on or before 19, we will have the all.
So this is what you have to look forward to: is multiple events every night. So you gotta manage your time well. No, but I'm very proud and honored to be here. I really, really am, on multiple levels. First of all, I want to apologize because I was not able to be at the event myself because I was away overseas with my family. But I always felt a special connection because Korea's Independence Day is also August 15th. Just so you guys know. So hopefully it won't compete every year with these events.
Was that from British?
No. That's the different colonization. But so I always felt a connection because there's I think a lot of deep-rooted pride and sort of importance in that date, August 15th, for me personally too. And I have to say, as someone who is a daughter of immigrants, my parents came in the 70s. My dad studied at Ohio State University, got his master's there, but then they decided after they moved here that in order to provide a better life for me and my sister, we grew up in Long Island for about 20 years, they had dry cleaning stores. And I still remember, back then I didn't understand how to process it, but seeing the way that certain people treated them because of their accent, right? And I was like, as a daughter, it's like, I remember there was this one moment where I got so upset at myself because I was like, oh, I wanted to speak up and stand up for my dad because I was waiting for him at the store and I didn't say anything. And I think that's part of the reason why, I'm getting a little emotional, but I think it's part of the reason why I always felt the need to fight for communities that don't have a voice or that are underrepresented. And that's why, you know, when I was working in my nonprofit organization for the Korean community, I got so frustrated because I realized a lot of the Asian community is seen as invisible. They don't necessarily see us as minorities or, you know, appreciate the contribution. So when you say multicultural in the South Asian community, people don't understand what that means because they think it's all a monolith. The fact that there's 1,500 languages, I didn't know it was 1,500. I knew it was a lot. I didn't realize it was that many. But there's a lot more education we need to do. There's a lot of growth that our community has experienced, but there's still a lot of work we need to do. And for the very first time, and something I'm very proud of is that for the very first time we have 6 Asian American council members, which has never happened before. Myself and Julie Wan are the first Korean Americans, Shaker Krishnan is the first Indian American, Shahana Hanif is the first Bangladesh Muslim, Sandra Ung is the first, I think, Asian woman to represent Flushing. Mm-hmm. And there's a lot of diversity for the first time, but I talk with my colleagues all the time, and this is why I was very proud to sponsor the bill on the City Council for Diwali. Jennifer Rajkumar had it on the state. And one of the bills I have also is recognizing Vaisakhi, because I think we need to keep promoting these holidays in our schools because they need to understand how diverse our communities actually are. And I want my kids to be proud of their heritage. I remember growing up, it wasn't until my young adult life where I think I really was proud of being Korean American because there were a lot of negative things I saw growing up, but I'm proud to be Asian American and I'm proud to represent this district, which by the way, I don't know if you guys know, but District 23, in all the city council districts, we have the second highest percentage of Asian Americans. Yeah. So Flushing is number 1 with about 63-4%. We have 45% Asian Americans in this district who live here. About half of those are from the South Asian community. So you have the Sikh Punjabi community, you have the Bangladesh, you have the Muslim community, you have Pakistani, and we actually have the 3rd largest, which is the Malayali community. And when I tell people this, they're like, they don't know enough, right? And so it's one of those things that I'm very proud of, that we actually have such a big concentration here in Eastern Queens. And that's something that I feel like we need to continue to be proud of and promote and just really celebrate, actually. So I'm very proud that this Indian Day Parade, Cultural Heritage and Independence Day is here in Eastern Queens. We need to definitely help continue the growth every single year, so whatever help I can provide in the future, we'll try to continue to help and provide. But I just want to say thank you to all of you for all your sacrifice. I'm very humbled to be in the presence of so many doctors and nurses. I feel like such an underachiever. I only went to social work school, so I feel like I underachieved. But no, but in all honesty, I think the sacrifices that you all have made and paved the way, and I say this as a second gen, as someone who's really paved the way for my generation to be here and to go into this kind of field, I just want to say thank you so much because I know how much sacrifice it took, and I really, really appreciate all of you. And if I could ask Koshy, and thank you so much, of course, because everything that everyone has said about Koshy and just bringing the community together is so true. So there's 2 citations we have. One is for FBIMA, Floral Park Belrose Indian Merchants Association. And then the other one is for President Koshy Thomas and the Committee of 2023 for organizing this meeting today. So I don't know who wants to come up, but if you guys, yeah.
I want to invite all the committee members to come forward because it's a joint effort. We made it. So please come over. You all deserve this. It's not just one person or 2 persons. Let's all come together. Let's take a picture, please. Yes. It's a kind of motivation, so we get energized and we do more.
Look here, Koshy, Mr. Koshy. Look this side.
This one. Yeah.
Look here.
Yeah, I know. Everyone's an uncle in here.
Yeah.
Almost.
Saturday.
Huh? Sure, yeah. She's coming for the Saturday event. We're going to have a Onam celebration in Malagra Orthodox, which is hosted by World Malayali Council. So she's coming, she's with our community all the time. Whenever we need anything. Silla is the person, you reach her, it will be done. Okay? You don't need Koshy or anybody else. Direct reach, direct access. If it is right thing to be done, they are there. And also one more thing, before you go, I want to recognize Dr. Shukla.
Yes.
Want to say a few words, just 1 minute. Dr. Shukla, please.
Thank you. Congratulations to Koshy and the team for organizing wonderful India Day Parade. I think it's one of the best parade in the last 5 or 6 years. And it's becoming, looks like very close to the marathon parade. And there is a possibility next 2 or 3 years, we can be bigger and better than it. So again, congratulations to the whole committee. Thank you.
So let me invite the host of the evening, the host, who did everything possible for this evening. It's good heart, okay? The moment I spoke, he said, I met him somewhere in Elmont, and here we are with this effort. I would request Dr. Satish Joseph to say a few words. Thank you.
Thank you, Lina.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for, I'm grateful and thankful for giving me the opportunity to host this evening's event. The success of the India Day Parade and honoring and appreciating all the people who worked hard for that. It was, by chance I met Koshy a couple of days before India Day Parade, and he invited me to come for that. And the day before, he texted me to make a band run from the next day, and I jumped onto his, one of the floors. It was a beautiful day. The first time I was attending the parade, and colorful dresses, music, and people coming and enjoying, and families and children. It was one of the most beautiful events I attended after coming to the US. Then a couple of days later, I was meeting Koshy for something else, and I could see the amount of hard work which went to make that parade successful. And even after that, he was trying to host another event to appreciate and all these people who work hard. I was looking for places, and I thought, the least I could do is just, come into his office and see if we can help. So thank you, Koshy, and all the board members and committee members to give me the opportunity to be part of it. I don't know them personally, but we hope to get all of you personally in the coming months and years. Thank you very much.
We're going to take a small break, and we are just waiting for our Honorable Assembly Member, Jennifer Rajkumar is coming. So Jennifer is actually, she's in the outreach program in the statewide. Linda was actually for the citywide. Whatever we need, we have, and we need somebody in the state. So she's on the way. She just texted. She got held up another program. Now let's use this time to have food, just relaxation, and then come back in 5-10 minutes. Is that okay with everybody? Okay, let's continue the party. Thank you. Yeah, she has some surprise gifts and citations to our community leaders and friends. And also, we are honoring a couple of doctors. So that's going to be done by Assembly Member Jennifer Rajkumar. I'm not going to announce the doctor's name, but she's going to announce it. Okay? Thank you so much for the cooperation. Let's join for the dinner. Really an auspicious evening. We have our Honorable Assembly Member Jennifer Rajkumar, who's very active in the community, who has done a lot of work for the community, and she has passed a lot of bills, and out of that, one of the the most remarkable, which is mentioned statewide and in the citywide, is getting the holiday for Diwali celebration in school. That's one of the biggest achievements. It's not easy. She worked for that for so many years, and finally we got it. It was announced, I believe it was a couple of months ago. And so she is continuing to do a lot of other outreach programs for the community. It's actually an achievement for the community having her representing us, and who knows what's our heritage, what's our need, what's our, whatever has to be done, she is doing it even without me asking her. So let me welcome, on behalf of all of you, welcome her to say a few words, and we'll go from there. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Good evening, namaste. Namaste. First of all, thank you so much, Koshy Thomas.
He wants to
come back.
I know.
I'm sorry.
Well, I just wanted to say thank you so much to Koshy, because your dedication to our community, your kindness to everyone, including myself, as a new Indian elected official, is just remarkable, and it touches my heart. So I just wanted to say thank you to Koshy Thomas, and nothing was going to stop me from coming. Just to say thank you to you for welcoming me, for making me Grand Marshal. Thank you for selecting me. It was surely the honor, one of the greatest honors of my career, to be Grand Marshal of your incredible parade.
For our parade, she was Grand Marshal.
Thank you so much for giving me that honor. It meant a lot.
Very beautiful speech there.
Yes. Oh, thank you so much for that.
Everywhere
For your encouragement, even now. You truly are my family. I'm speaking to my family right now. I just want you to know, the daughter of your community is in office, and the keys to my office are your keys, just like your family. So as you know, I'm the first Indian woman ever elected to a New York State office. The first Indian ever elected to an office in New York City, and also the first Hindu elected in New York State. But I will not be the last one of any of these things. My goal is to bring up the next generation. And when I ran for this office, people told me that you're a nice girl, Rajkumari, but you have no shot. But we won. Not only did we win, we won by the largest margin of any challenger in the whole state.
Wow.
And that was because of my Indian values. That brought me to the place of victory. As my dad would always say, if you want to succeed, you have to focus. Like Arjuna and the Mahabharata. 5 Pandav brothers had to shoot a bird. Only Arjuna could shoot the bird. And when asked why, he said, because I saw only the eye of the bird. To this day, my father will call me and say, focus on the eye. That is the key. And of course in the Ramayana, we learned that Ram could not defeat Ravan alone. Ram needed Hanuman. Ram needed the army of monkeys and bears. Only together can we succeed. Only together can we conquer. That is a lesson that I've carried. That is why not only have I allied and gained the support of our own South Asian community, Indian community, but also Bangladeshi community, also Indo-Caribbean community, Latino community, African American community, all these communities have been able to bridge the divides between all, and all have supported me. And I'm honored for that support. But it's the idea that comes from that concept. Also, it took decades to get Diwali to be a school holiday. The community fought for decades. I got it done in one session. I took it up, and we won that fight. I was honored to win that fight. And some of you joined us in Albany, where we showed everyone we are here. We are at the table of power in this state. That's what we did. I'm a true Gandhian. I grew up inspired by Gandhi. I became a vegetarian after reading Gandhi. And I carry his life of service with me. What he talks about, that inspired me to engage in this life of service. Gandhi gave up all his worldly possessions, except for 5. And I have given up everything to serve, because this is my passion, and I love to do it. So this is just the beginning for our community. We are excellent. As I said, an Indian kid wins the spelling bee every single year. Because we're excellent in everything that we do. Excellence.
Always cheese master.
Yes.
Always win. Nobody can beat us.
And excellence is in this room. Every single person here is like my family. We worked hard, and you're successful. We're an excellent community. And many of the children of our community are the valedictorians or salutatorians of their class. Excellence is who we are. Excellence is what we do. And it's my job to bring excellence to government leadership and to politics. And we now have a place at the table of power. So I want you to think big. Where do you want to go from here for our community? Yes. Yes, a question.
We have a lot of youngsters who are very much like now. We were perhaps one of them who was very much motivated into getting into politics. What was your motivation?
How do you get into politics? Right?
Yeah, how you get into politics?
The question is, how did I get into politics? And the answer is, you never know where life takes you. I did not anticipate this, but I come from a family of doctors. Okay, no surprise. So I grew up with the concept of the importance of helping others. I grew up with the influence of Gandhi in my life. And I became a lawyer because I wanted to help people. And I believe that lawyers help people. Lawyers are a voice for the voiceless. And I practiced law successfully for several years, representing people who needed help. And then I realized if you really want to make a difference, you need power. And that is why I went into politics, to get power, so I can help people. I worked for the governor of New York, Andrew Cuomo, where I directed immigration for the state of New York. And then I left everything to serve and to run for office, and we won against impossible odds. And as a community, we will keep winning. And when I came to your incredible parade, I have to say, you have put our community on the map with this parade. Everybody came to this parade, and it was so well done.
Yes.
You're putting the community on the map.
Thank you.
And together we will be partners in that task as we keep rising, as we keep becoming powerful. Please consider me your ally, a supporter, and a family. And we will rise together.
And a leader. Yes.
Thank you. We will rise together. And so I wanted to, most importantly, share my gratitude. I stood on your shoulders and became state assemblywoman. And now as a state rep, I have the honor of giving New York State honors to you for the work you have done. So I would like to first honor Dr. Madhu Bhaskaran.
Yes.
Dr. Madhu Bhaskaran, as you all know, in this community serving the needy, he's involved in so many associations. Apart from that, he's a nephrologist. I don't know whether I can say this openly, with or without insurance. Doesn't matter whether he gets paid or not. If somebody is in need, he's there helping. I have got so many witnesses. That's the reason the committee, the friends, chose Dr. Madhu Bhaskaran to receive this honorable award from the Assembly Member Jennifer Rajkumar.
Dr. Madhu Bhaskaran is an extraordinary medical professional. And whereas at the height of the COVID-19 pandemic, Dr. Madhu Bhaskaran provided life-saving aid to the community. He possesses a fine medical education, and he provides medical services in Hindi and Malayalam. Present, serving the diverse needs of the people of New York. So, in view of all of his achievements, I'm proud to honor you with this citation.
Dr. Koshy?
Can I request all the committee members to come, please?
Koshy, just quick.
It's actually endorsed by FBIMA. All the committee members, please. Please.
And then
Yeah, Dr. stay there. Yeah, the next is, the next is our own friend, philosopher and guide, who is actually an instrumental in starting this Indian Merchants Association, Floral Park Belrose Merchants Association. With 3 of his friends, he was sitting in a casual talk on in Santur, and the discussion came up and they said, we need our community presence. Just, we have achieved whatever, but what are we going for the next generation? Mr. Chacko proposed, along with his friends, he said, let's start an association here. And that was the instrumental, and along with Mr. Chacko, Mr. George Parambil, Dr. Tucker, and then we joined, Mr. Karatil, then Jason Joseph, and Matthew Thomas, and our chairman, Dincil George, Secretary Mary Phillip, our friend Kriti Shukla, committee member, all these friends together, working day and night, with spending their money, their time, the energy, taking up all the hurdles. With all that effort, we were able to do the India Day Parade, independence celebration on Hillside Avenue in a very remarkable way. And fortunately, we had our Mayor, Eric Adams, and of course, the side support came from none other than our assembly member. Of course, a couple of other people helped us, but she made sure that he is going to be here on the stage with us. So hats off to Assembly Member Jennifer Rajkumar, and she is giving out the citations. A couple more.
Thank you so much. How many people are from Kerala here?
Everybody.
I just want to tell you, I've been to Kochi, and the best meal I had in my life was there.
Do you remember
in Kochi.
Do you remember the name of the restaurant?
It was not a restaurant. I went to a village. Okay, and I ate on a banana leaf. It was the best meal of my life, and after that, I finished it with a glass of hot water. Well, I just wanted to share. But now I would like to honor V.M. Chacko on the occasion of Queen's India Day Parade. He's an exemplary community leader. He boasts a distinguished tenure as a former member of the Board of Directors of the Floral Park Belrose Indian Merchants Association. He has worked to improve the welfare of businesses in his community, and everyone has a role model in him. Now, therefore, be it resolved, in view of all of these outstanding achievements, New York State honors him with this citation.
Thank you very much.
Can you hold this way, sir, please? Right over here.
Dincil.
Doctor? Very nice.
Thank you. Thank you. And next we have thank you. It's not me, but somebody else is going to receive it. Thank you.
Okay, Dr. Thomas Matthew.
It's not here.
Okay. We have an honor for him, and we will provide it for him later.
Right. But let me say a few words about Dr. Thomas Matthew. When COVID hit us, we were blinking up and down. I myself never got out of my room, and I was taking, whatever spices available, even hot pepper, thinking that that's going to kill my COVID. That was the scare problem. We all went through that. But during that time of scary season, Dr. Thomas Matthew, he's one of the outstanding doctors in this neighborhood. He came out and he said, it doesn't matter about the COVID, for me or anybody else, it is my responsibility to take care of my patients with all my knowledge, whatever I had. He served the community, especially his patients. But at the end of the day, he ended up in ICU. He was almost unconscious for like 2 weeks, I think. He was on oxygen ventilator for almost 2 weeks. We all thought, I don't know, we were praying God. But finally, he came back. Now, even after coming that, people will be thinking, is he going to discontinue his practice after this? So with all that, he never, listened to any of that. He's still continuing. So hats off to Dr. Thomas Matthew, and this is for Dr. Thomas Matthew, and I would request, and also Dr. Thomas Matthew, runs the biggest charity organization in this neighborhood. It's called ECHO, and he's serving the community, and almost all senior citizens, almost 70 or 80 of them assemble every Friday in one of the Clinton Martin Park, and then they're continuing the service. So I would request Mr. Raju Varghese Abraham to come and receive this citation from on behalf of Dr. Thomas Matthew. Thank you. Go ahead.
That number.
Dincil to come.
Dincil, come to the stage.
Dincil, come to the stage.
Yeah.
I don't know how many got the number, about 40 or 50 or 80. We have 240 members every Friday, and approximately 150 to 100 director for the ECHO program we are running every Friday. Yes, and it is free for all the employees, and it is being the funding done by ECHO, Dr. Thomas Matthews organization called ECHO, and the board of directors are funding for the whole program, right?
For the dinner, lunch. For
yes. We have yes. We have the program coming on October 1st Sunday in the PNG Martin Park in Marcus Avenue. You are cordially invited.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Look right over here, just right over here.
Yeah.
1, 2. Very nice. And just one more with all the very nice. The doctor sat down.
Viola is the chief of staff. Anybody need help?
Yeah.
Oh, reach out to Viola.
Thank you for your Thank you for your invitation.
Thank you.
And please tell Dr. Thomas Matthew I must meet him after hearing his inspirational story. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Next come Dr. Mahindra Amin. When I landed in this country in '93, I never had insurance. Honest, true story. I never had insurance. I just walking around. A couple of my friends said, "Go to Dr. Amin in Queens Village." Okay, I'm a witness. I can say this to anybody. Without insurance, he treated me. He didn't even take copay or anything like that. This is the word he said: when you make money, bring the money. I will take it if it is needed. But when you make excess money and if you have extra time, continue doing the social work. That was a motivational speech. Pulled me into the society to do social work. So Dr. Amin was a motivator, and he's still practicing. And his son is actually taking over the practice. So with all that, he has also gone through a lot of hurdles, but we really have to honor Dr. Amin by the citation from Assembly member. And so if you get to read it, and then Jason Joseph will come and receive it on his behalf.
Okay. Jason, can you come up? Jason Joseph.
Yes.
So this is a citation that you will accept on behalf of Dr. Amin. New York State honors Dr. Amin for being an extraordinary medical professional. Throughout the COVID-19 pandemic, Dr. Amin provided life-saving health care. He possesses an exemplary medical education from University of Newcastle, and his expertise is the result of years of dedication. So be it resolved in view of all of his outstanding achievements, New York State honors him with this citation.
Yes.
Just one photo, right over here. Very nice.
Thank you.
So I'd just like to ask, how many people are doctors here?
So many.
Okay. So
I want to invite Dr. Satish Joseph to say a few words, and maybe Dr. Satish Joseph will say a few words about himself, because we all are anxious to know a little bit more about you. He actually, when I discussed about this event, we were running around with so many restaurant selection. He said, don't go anywhere.
Thank you again. Thanks for coming and following us, and thanks for all the citations also. My name is Satish Joseph, and one of the cardiologists of Brookhaven Heart. When Koshy, and I met recently about after the India Day Parade, he was looking for places to host, to honor and give gratitude to people of what heart towards India Day Parade celebrations and make it a success. We made it happen here, and thanks for all your hard work. Myself, my cardiologist, I trained in India. I came here, did my residency in Stony Brook and cardiology in Stony Brook. We started the practice Brookhaven Heart in Patchogue, then I started in New Hyde Park, and we have another office in Hicksville. We're 6 cardiologists. We're here to serve the community. We're part of the community, and we look forward to serving the community in the future. Thank you.
You know, I come from a family of doctors, and I tell my parents that when you're a political leader, you can be the doctor for the whole state. Actually, you know, my mom used to raise me with the family court system. When we had a fight in the house, we'd solve it by a family court system. And so we would all gather in the kitchen.
Mother means, no?
Yes, my mom would say, we'll all gather in the kitchen and we'll argue it out if we ever have a fight. And then I became a lawyer. And my mom wonders why. So that's how a family of doctors created a lawyer.
Very good.
Okay. But finally, I just want to say one final thing, is that when my parents came to this country, they settled in Hillside Avenue. That's where they started. And that is where we parade.
Yeah.
So it's a very special place.
Good.
And it's a special meaning that I got to return as the first Indian elected official to march on Hillside Avenue.
That's right.
Fulfilling fulfilling American dream. As the Grand Marshal, yes. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. And thank you, Koshy.
Yeah.
This is
Our honor, our Yeah, go ahead.
And this is for.
And this one, you're going to honor our doctor by Assembly Member Jennifer Rajkumar.
So am I going to put
it on you?
Okay.
Yes.
So I'm going to honor you with this.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. And a couple more. I want to next honor Dr. Shukla, please. Come to the front, please. Dr. Mr. and Mrs. Shukla. Okay. For Dr. and Mrs. come to the side. She will honor you both together.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah.
You can touch this.
Yeah, you can stitch together.
You can touch this.
Again.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
My pleasure. Yeah.
Picture time. Koshy, look at it.
Yeah. Okay. There it falls. Okay, good.
Koshy, smile. Yeah.
That's his.
Now let me invite our former president, Mr. Dr. Jacob Thomas. He actually, this is another person, okay? If you want to get anything done, you don't call anybody else, just him.
Wow.
He is the president of the National Federation of Malayali Association in all over India. Wow. All over America, Canada, and he does all the service to the India also. So global well, but anyway, so if he says something, it is done. So please.
Oh, I thought I'm going to give it to her.
No. She really is good.
I'm honored and privileged.
Koshy.
Thank you.
The next person I will request is our Iron Lady, Mrs. Leela Marat. For the float, when we had the problem raising funds, she brought in $3,000 and she brought the float. The next person is Mr. Jason Joseph. Actually, when we raised funds, he was the person who raised to the most. Within our community, even though we all jointly did it, but he raised the most fundraising, for the parade. So we really have to honor him. Next person we have is Mr. George Abraham. Please come. Because George Abraham, he actually came into this country in 60s, and since then he's been growing and he's helping people, anywhere in need. He's actually a community activist, plus he retired as the chief technology person from United Nations. Thank you so much. Yeah, Lorna ji also. You want to say Lorna ji, come.
I want to thank
now you are complete.
Ms. Jennifer Rajkumar for honoring us, and I do appreciate her commitment to the community, and she has been very vocal on issues and very visible in our community, working very hard to promote not only our interest in the legislators and assemblies, but also around the larger community as well. So we wish you well in the future. We hope that you will continue to be a guide and be a director when it comes to the issues that concerns us. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your kind words. Thank you so much.
Next, we want to honor our friend Mr. Kalathil Varghese. To know about him, to my knowledge, he is the first person who brought Hillary Clinton to Nassau County.
Wow.
First person to bring Hillary Clinton. He is actually the Nassau County Democratic Party Vice Chair. And he has done a lot, he is still continuing, and he's actually the fundraising chairman for this year's parade committee. So we really want to honor him. Thank you. The next, I really want to thank and congratulate Mr. Dincil George, the chairman of the parade. He did everything possible. When I was running tired, he said, I will pick up the torch and run it. So that way, jointly, we did it to the best successful parade we had in Queens. We got almost all elected officials, all associations, each and every personalities who will be invited, they all came, and it was done very systematically without even one single scratch. It's a joint effort, and so really want to admire and honor Dincil George. Thank you so much. Thank you. Yeah, go ahead. Soon.
I'm honored to be here with all of you because this is one of the the community event, and we have been done a great job for this the India Day Parade. I myself is so privileged to be part of this. I am almost last 35 years involved in the politics. I mean, politics means in Nassau County, I'm one of the first Malayali joined in this community, and Tom Dinapal is the one who bring me to the politics and encouraged me to work. And I became the committee person. Now I'm the executive committee person also, selecting the candidate in Asha County. And also I'm so privileged to work with all these people, So we able to, promote 2 candidates from our own community to run in the Nassau County Council. Now, the Kevin Thomas already run, and now Biju is running. Prior to that, we have Jerry Vatamala and Tony who run for the North Hampshire Town Council. Then George Matthew was run. These are all because of our community help. Through my, the chairman always asks me, do you have any person to run for this town? He always comes to me, J. Jacob. And he asked me also. So I always encourage our second generation we form an association in Northampton town, Northampton Indian Malayali Association. The main purpose of our organization is to promote second generation to the mainstream politics. So please keep in mind, any of your children who live in this town, like our assemblywoman came, and we are so privileged. So we are so happy to have her elected and representing our community in the assembly. So please do that. I encourage every parents, don't let the people go for the doctors and all this profession. Let them come to the politics.
Thank you.
The politics is power. Thank you.
One thing I want to mention is that he mentioned about Northampton Indian Malayali Association, and he is the chairman of Northampton Indian Malayali Association.
Thank you. One more, actually a pair, one of our friends, whatever we do, it comes into the air, nationwide and even international wide. I want to recognize two of our friends, Mr. Matthew and Shaji Ennaseril. They have done a lot, because when we sit and discuss and plan and put up the plan, they make sure that the plan, reaches out to the community. So that's another reason our parade got 100% successful. So let me invite Matthew and Shaji Ennaseril to come forward here. Thank you so much. You both come together and one big shawl for both of you.
Just hold it.
Yeah, okay. Before we go, can we take a group picture for 1 minute? Just 1, 2, 3, full picture. Please, everybody come in. Thank you. This is showing our strength together with the honorable assembly member. Thank you.
अब यहाँ से कहाँ जाएं हम, तेरी बाहों में मर जाएं हम। तुझे देखा तो ये